Hi, my name is Laura, and today I'm going to show you how to make a Lullubee flower hat. First thing you should do is cut out your pattern pieces, choose which size pattern pieces you need, and you'll need to assemble the pattern, and it's easy to do just by aligning the dots. You can put the pattern on the window so that you can see through it to better align the dots, but I can see through my paper right here just fine. I'm aligning these two dots, and it's size 2-4, size 2-4. There's a picture for you to follow. And here's another dot down here. Now that your pattern piece is put together, then you just need to cut them out. Next, you'll put your pattern pieces on your fabric and trace around them with the chalk in your kit. Your tutorial will tell you that you need to put fabric stabilizer on the back of part of your pieces. It tells you that you'll need to put the stabilizer on 6 of the flower leaves, which will make up the outside of the hat. And you'll need to put fabric stabilizer onto the stem pieces, which are cut out of the green poly satin. Now, to put the fabric stabilizer on, you'll need an iron. And this is the thinnest fabric stabilizer. One side is smooth, one side is bumpy, and that's the side with the glue on it. So you take the glue side and you put it to the back side of your hat piece. Turn it right side up and then steam it, iron it down, and cut it out again. So you take your 6 hat pieces that have the backing on them and sew them together like this. Sew each piece together until it makes a circle. And when you sew the last 2 pieces together, you'll have a hat like this. This is the outer hat. The lining is made in the same way as the outer hat. When all 6 pieces have been sewed together, it looks like this. First, let's do the stem. There are 2 stem pieces. These are the leaves. They have fabric backing on them and they're right sides together. There's one big cut in the leaves. This is where the stem will go. The stem is this half circle, and I've ironed up one side of the half circle. Now I need to start to roll it like this. And then I'll sew it across the bottom so it stays into place. So we take our leaves, which have been sewn together and turned right side out. We take our stem and we put the stem in the middle. We fold over the leaves. We sandwich the stem inside and we sew across the bottom right here. I've sandwiched my stem inside of my leaves and I've sewn across the bottom of the leaves. Now I have one stem piece. I'll fold this up and I'll take my outer hat, which has the lining, the fabric lining. I'll turn it wrong side out and I'll put the stem a little bit through the hole, and then I'll sew across the hole, catching the stem in the seam. When the outer part of my hat is finished, which means the stem has been sewn in, it'll look like this. Now the lining, which does not have any fabric backing, I've sewn up the hole that is in the top, but I've left a hole in the side, in the seam, and this will be for turning the hat right side out later. Now I turn the lining wrong side out. I put it over my hat here. I'll line up each of the seams like this. And as I line up each seam and each point of the petal, I'm going to pin it so it doesn't move. And it's important to pin this fabric when you sew it because it's really slippery and it will move. Now I'll sew my flower hat lining and outer part together around the edge of the flower. Remove the pins, find the hole in the lining that we left, and turn the flower right side out. Okay. At this point, when you pull it right side out, it'll look a little strange, but this is the lining piece and it will be pushed back up inside the hat. And now you need to press it with your iron. Once the hat is pressed, we're going to add a little shape to it by sewing the seams. So at each seam, fold it over, pin it, and with the sewing machine we're going to start at the top under the leaves and we're going to small a very, very small seam down the edge of each flower petal. After the outer seams of the petals have been sewn, then the finishing touch is to sew a small overstitch along the edge of the hat. Each section of the overstitch will need to be done separately because your sewing machine won't be able to sew over the side stitches of the petals. It's too thick there where they all join together. So each section, each petal overstitch will be done separately. So when you get to each overstitch of the petals, you'll need to stop the machine, trim your thread, and start over again in the next section. Once you've overstitched the bottom of the hat, the last thing you need to do is whip stitch closed the hole in the lining. This hat makes a great costume hat, and if you sew it in cotton, it makes a great summer hat.